Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Sales Foo Close of the Week. There it is. So today we're talking about the Black Car Close. This is a series. This is, in fact, the very first episode. This is a series of 101 closes. So I'm going to come out with 1 to 2 to possibly 3 of these per week for an entire year, 52 weeks in the year. I should be able to put out 101 of these. So this is the very first one. I'm going to try something different as far as presentations go. So this time around, I'm going to try and do a presentation pop-up video style, meaning I'm going to just talk about the close, and I'm trying to get you a little dude and watch what he says, and he'll talk about the close as I am going through it. Hopefully it lines up and this works out well. If not, maybe you have to watch this video twice to gather up all the information that I'm going to give you. So let's jump into it. I call this the Black Car Close. Somebody gives you an objection. It's usually a price objection, and you launch into a story very much like this. So, Mr. Customer, I understand exactly where you're coming from. In fact, this reminds me of an interesting story. So, long before I got into phone sales, I used to sell face-to-face, and believe it or not, I used to have to fly to Hawaii all the time. Now, I know it's rough, right? But somebody had to do it. So I had to fly to Hawaii. I would fly into Honolulu, and at the Honolulu airport, you could get a taxi cab or a limo or a black cab service, or I mean, of course, you could rent a car. But I don't know about you, but I hate driving metropolitan areas that I'm not familiar with. Right, I'm not that kind of a driver. I grew up in a very rural area, so I wasn't comfortable driving in metropolitan big cities, that kind of thing. So I always took the cab. So what I would do is I would wait in the cabbie line, and I would get my luggage there, whatever, and talk to the guy. And it's always supposed to be about $40 going from the Honolulu airport to Waikiki, where I would always be staying. Now, I would get there, and the cab driver would never ever charge me $40. Strangest thing, right? They charge extra money to like load your baggage into the trunk sometimes. Sometimes they would, sometimes they wouldn't. Sometimes they would charge you extra if there was construction, or I don't know the area very well, so I don't know. I always felt like they took a different route there. So whatever the case may be, no matter what happened, like I didn't know exactly how much it was going to be by the time I got to my destination. It could be $40. I got to tell you though, it was never ever in my recollection $40. Plus then I got to tip the guy too, and you feel like a jerk if you don't tip him. So 45 to 55, in one case I think it was like $63. So I would get my airport ride from the airport to Waikiki for anywhere from $45 to $63. And I wasn't really sure how much. I always got to where I was going. I mean, it worked. It was effective, I guess, in the fact that I got to where I was going. But as I mentioned earlier, there was another couple of options there: limousines and black cars. And I wasn't a particularly well-off sales rep. I was kind of a young guy, and bear with me because this is going someplace here. So one day I got to this black car service, and there's a guy up there, and he's wearing like this what they call it a lava lava. It's basically like a skirt for guys. And but anyway, the place is empty, and so I talked to this guy, and I said, hey, like, what's the deal with these? Like, who gets these black car rides? Do you see a lot of professionals, or do you see like a lot of movie stars or famous people? And the guy said in his kind of Hawaiian accent, he's like, oh, no, bro, like, we get all kind. And basically, this guy was telling me in his own way that it was actually a set fee for a black car service from the airport to Waikiki. It was $50 flat, and that included tip. So I had to ask him a couple times, like, make sure I got this right. Like, and anybody could use the service. I didn't have to like call ahead of time. So essentially, anybody could use this service. It was $50 flat fee every time, included your luggage, no matter what. Like, no meter was running. It was just $50 to get from the airport to where I wanted to go. And I said, well, you know what? Like, it seems reasonable. I took the black car that day, and that was the last time I ever took a cab. In fact, I don't even take Uber, right? I still take a black car to this day. And there's an app on your phone. You can download it, and it's fantastic. So let me tell you about this black car ride. So I get in the car. There's a couple of beverages there, some bottled water. There's a newspaper, a couple of magazines. The first guy, I think, had some like kind of like a video thing playing over and over again. But this was in the 90s, so you didn't have a whole lot of like internet type things yet. But the new ones do. New ones have internet in them, and little television sets too, so you can watch TV, almost like a nice plane ride or something. So, and the guy was very, very knowledgeable. So, as a matter of fact, in all the years I've been driving or getting rides in Honolulu, I had never had like a real good tour of it because I was always there on business. I didn't have a whole lot of personal time, but this dude was amazing. He talked to me about Duke, who rode some big waves. He talked to me about King Kamehameha, Queen Liliuokalani. He talked to me about the history of the luau and the hula dancing, like the storytelling. And he told me about the beaches, World War II. He told me all kinds of really cool stuff, right? And this is just my regular car driver, same exact trip that I'd taken maybe a dozen times before, but I took it in a black car this time, and I rode in style, and I knew exactly how much it was going to be when I got to my destination. It was going to be $50 no matter what, right? I ended up taking this guy's business card. He'd been doing this for a very long time, and that guy ended up being my driver for maybe another decade or so, and it was a fantastic experience. So no matter where I go now, I try and get a black car service. I use a black car limo app now on my phone. It's very easy to download, and I'll show it to you if you want to message me and ask me about it. And I'm not sponsored by them by any means, but ask me who I use, and I'll send it over to you. And anyway, I haven't looked back since. So I guess the moral of the story is, right, everybody's going to get you there. Everybody's going to get you there, Mr. Client. Like, it's just a matter of, how much time and how much funny business you want to put up with. So if you're going to get from A to B, do you want to take the taxi cab service, right? It might be $40. It might be less expensive, but it might also be $63. You never really know how much it's going to be. Or do you want to take the black car service? Do you want to know exactly how much it's going to be up front? Do you want to ride in style? Do you want to feel comfortable? Do you want to get the tour? Do you want to have the personalized service? Because I got to tell you, I'm the black car service of whatever product I'm selling right now. Take a ride with me. What do you say? Right? So there you go. So the point is to create an emotional response there, right? You got the story, you circled back around, and you got to create that aha moment, right? You got to create that moment where you circle back to, the meaning, right? You got to circle back to where you started, which was you were on a sales call. If you do this correctly, your customer will lose track of what they were doing for a little while. They'll just hear you talking about a story about when you went to Hawaii or whatever your option was, right? You've got to create a scenario, though, where your customer will say yes. In this case, hey, do you want to take the black car ride or do you want to take the taxi cab ride? That's, you never know exactly how much it's going to be. What do you say you take a ride in style with me? All right? And after you explain that story, the customers are going to want to take a ride with you, right? They want the black car service. They want to ride in style. They want to know exactly how much it's going to be by the time they get to the end of their destination, right? They don't want to get, bait and switched. They don't want to have a bad experience. They want to have a good experience. So you get the customer to say yes to the good experience in your story, and then you ask them to change their mind about the experience with you. If you do that, your customer will move forward with you, and it will be okay for them to move forward, right? To change their mind. So if you want more closes like this, get 100 more great closes just like this by visiting http://thedojo.thesalesnerds.com collections. So, or just go to thesalesnerds.com. There's a little dojo dude in the top right-hand side. Click on him and then go to the courses. It's awesome. There's probably a link below, right? There's some really cool stuff there. Thank you. I'm Sundance Brennan, and I hope you enjoyed this.